I greet you all participants of the SMME Virtual Roadshow that is being organized by the Global African Network. My name is Nontombi Marule, and I'm going to be talking to you about the entrepreneurship support that we do at the DTIC through TVET colleges and universities. And this is not only limited to what the DTIC does, but it also will cover some of the other government departments and their agencies. This is going to be how my slides are going to follow. Firstly, is about the mandate of the DTI. One of the main reasons the DTIC was established is to ensure that we grow the economy of South Africa. As we are doing that, it has to be very inclusive, and we have to provide decent employment and equity for all citizens. The mission, therefore, becomes to structurally transform to promote the structural transformation such that we have a dynamic industrial and global competitive economy. Otherwise, we are not able to compete globally. Furthermore, provide a conducive environment for investment, for trade, enterprise development, and industrialization, because those we deem to be the drivers of economy. But as we are doing that, we are ensuring that we broaden the participation, especially to the previously disadvantaged citizens, to the previously economically deprived environments and economies. Now, in terms of the work that I do within the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition is about innovation, where basically, if you want to simplify the definition of innovation, is about turning ideas. If it's not ideas, it's knowledge. If it's not knowledge, it's know-how. If it's not know-how, it's expertise into value. Value could be money, or value could be solutions that can be utilized in the economy. Now, this innovation process tells us briefly, it can come from a need for starters, or it can come from an identification of a groundbreaking research. Now, I've already alluded to the fact that we use all sorts of knowledge to drive this enterprise development and this industrialization. These kinds of knowledge forms can be basic and applied research, which is predominantly done in universities, design and engineering, which you can find in universities and TVET colleges. Indigenous knowledge is held by our indigenous knowledge holders, and we have a project in the country where we are documenting all this knowledge that can be converted either into enterprise or industrialization through product innovation. Grassroots and garage innovation or inventors is one of the areas that we look, because it's more pertinent for township economy or communities that bring their own solutions. Furthermore, then you have a process where you are then developing the idea into either a prototype that you can then get funding through VC to ensure that you then enter the market and through commercialization processes, whether you capture an already existing market or you create a market for that particular product. Now, there are many facets to innovation process. One of them is about technology. That is where we are driving our innovation strategies. However, that is not limited. I've already talked about all other forms of knowledge. Then there's a business aspect of this innovation process, just to make sure what is the vehicle that you're using to drive this technology development or to drive this knowledge into a product that can be in the market. Are you in the business venture? What kinds of operations that one needs to go into? And that's where entrepreneurship becomes very predominant in terms of how you drive the entry of these technological products into the market. And the other aspect is about the people that drive this kind of work. In terms of building up teams, one will need to then build teams that are comprising of people who can drive the business, people who can develop the technologies, people who can enter the markets. So it's all inclusive in this innovation process. But you see that there's a very interesting connection where technology and humans meet. That's where you get your visual thinking, your designs and sustainability. That's where then business growth and expansion begins to come in terms of new thinking and new ideas. And in terms of business and human values, that's where you start to see organizational behavior. And in particular within government or within Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, that's where we start looking for how to then create those jobs that are needed by our economy. And then in manufacturing, it's about products. That's where you then start getting into supply chains. That's where you start getting into trade and making sure that we lower the trade deficit. Now, when all of these culminate together, you'll find that what comes out is design innovation, whether in the product, whether in business models, whether in the teams or the jockeys that drive those types of businesses. Now, coming into support mechanisms that are being offered by government, one of them is around policy, where we are very deliberate about small business development as a driver for economy. We are also very responsible for regulation and standardization. Regulation, where you talk about hampering of competition. Standardization is about the products that enter the markets. Then going specifically into programs that we are implementing as the DTIC, we have one project that is called Specialized Industrial Facilities, which I'm going to unpack in the next slides. This project was funded by the pilots that were established, were funded by the African Development Bank through their middle income grant, which we used to show the outputs of this project, and we're looking into rolling it out further. SEDA has incubation programs throughout the country, one where they are independently driven, some where they are with the partnership of local government, and some within the universities, and I will unpack them a little bit further. Then finally, financial incentives through the DTIC and through the TIA, which is Technology Innovation Agency, grassroots innovation funding that entrepreneurs can access. Now, in terms of defining specialized industrial facilities, are facilities where we are looking into placing machinery or equipment or technological advancements in a TVET college, where that machinery can be used for production, and also it can be used for teaching. What we are hoping to get from these, or what we have shown in the 4 pilots that we have established, is that you are able to afford students to then springboard businesses from this kind of equipment, because it's production equipment. It's not just, for demonstration or teaching only, but you can literally produce products from these equipments that we've placed in the TVET colleges. And over and above that is the fact that this machinery can be very expensive for a startup, where we are encouraging them to start up from this basis, and then once they have captured the market and acquired a bit of capital from the little businesses that business activities that they've undergone through this equipment, then they can grow out and venture out independently. So these kinds of facilities could be around whether it's a testing facilities, whether it's a design center, whether it's a production unit. But as previously stated, it can be used for production, it can be used for training as well. So the priority for the pilots that we have established has been given to rural communities, township, and poor regions. And the objective thereof, as already alluded, is to build SMMEs to sustainable long-term economic growth and also reduce the burdens on the startup on SMMEs. This is obviously also partnered with business development training that the TVET college will. So the 4 pilots that have been established through this African Development Bank funding at Lovedale TVET College in Zwelisha in the Eastern Cape. Another one is in Sekhukhune in Limpopo, in the Limpopo region. One in Gauteng at Guruleni East TVET College in their Springs campus, and the last one was SEDA TVET College at Kamalake, which is one of the colleges of the SEDA that's placed in a rural community or in a township community. Now, in terms of SEDA's incubation projects, there are many objectives and reasons for the establishment, but part of the reasons are exactly the same as the establishment of the SIFs. However, with SEDA incubation, there's more emphasis on business development and expansion, and they are much more broader than what the SIFs offer. So they will incubate a business from a concept phase up until the business can be able to sustain itself. There's also aspects of transfer of knowledge and skills to SMMEs that has been developed from either the university or the TVET. There's also the nourishment of entrepreneurial spirit through innovation promotion. So these incubation centers are such that they can holistically grow and nurture a startup business from cradle up until it's fully sustained. Now, just for example, this is a snapshot of some of the incubators that have been established by SEDA. This is just at the Limpopo region. And throughout the South Africa, there's a number of these in universities. One of the notes that should be made to the participants, especially entrepreneurs, is that in every province in South Africa and every major city, there is a SEDA office, which is Small Enterprise Development Agency. And once you look out for it, they will have information of what is available in that particular region. Now, moving on to the technology development incentives. In the DTIC, there are 3 that I'd like to inform the entrepreneurs about, where mostly are about technology development, but they do support business development in a sense that once you have an optimal product, you are then able to enter the market. The first one is the Technology and Human Resources for Industrial Program, which promotes technological know-how. It encourages using university knowledge with the SMME to make sure that they partner and grow a specific product. And also, it's about enhancing the skills and making sure you have the right skills for the businesses that do exist. The second one is the Support Program for Industrial Innovation, which promotes the development of a specific prototype. Once one has a proof of concept, then the SPY program will assist in making sure that that proof of concept is actualized to a specific prototype, which can then be used for market entry or for venture capital funding. But also, it is also inclusive of testing and validation of that prototype. And the last incentive is the Quebo Innovation Promotion Program, which provides seed capital for somebody or a company that already has a prototype that they like to go into small scale manufacturing. And this incentive is being implemented by the Industrial Development Corporation. And it also focuses on grassroots innovation. One of the things that this presentation is going to do is to just inform you of what these incentives are covering. But if one goes into the website of the DTIC under financial services, you will then be able to get information on all these incentives, because they will tell you at what stage of technology development you need to be, at what size of a business it supports, and what kinds of activities that the grant fund will pay for. And what entrepreneurs need to know is that all the funds from the DTIC will require some form of input from the applicant as well. So there is no fund that is, all of these funds are not 100% grant funding. Some of them, based on the level of the business, it can be 10% that will be required from the business for the total project cost, or it can be 20% or up to 50% of funding from the DTIC. The last program that I'm going to talk about is the TIA Grassroots Innovation Program, which really is looking at bringing all those solutions that could be from groups of environments that are ingrown by the communities themselves. These will be low-cost projects and will be very quick to get into markets. It should be almost like a prototype that is not grown or it does not come from research and development. And this fund does support teams and individuals that are not working in academic institutions and who own the IP of the knowledge that they want to grow. As I to a close, this is how we are seeing SMMEs as an engine for growth and as an engine for economic development in South Africa, because we Grassroots Innovation Program, which really is looking at bringing all those solutions that could be from groups of environments that are ingrown by the communities themselves. These will be low cost projects and will be very quick to get into markets. It should be almost like a prototype that is not grown or it does not come from research and development. And this fund does support teams and individuals that are not working in academic institutions and who own the IP of the knowledge that they want to grow. As I to a close, this is how we are seeing SMMEs as an engine for growth and as an engine for economic development in South Africa, because we look at inputs as government, which will be entrepreneurial courses, business skills, manufacturing and production facilities through the SIFs. And we see the activities as improvement and establishment of these businesses. But in the long term and looking at outcomes, that's where we are thinking we are going to get the employment creation, we're going to get the formation of new or a sustainability of existing industry. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And should any questions arise, my contact details are at the bottom. But I wish you all the best, and I hope that I have succeeded to give you a snippet of what the DTIC is about and what we are supporting. Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity.